Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. Thank you to the Canary Wharf Sports Bar and Grill for welcoming us into our new home. Yes. Thank you very much. We'll be here all season. So if you want to come down and see us, come down to the Sports Bar and Grill over at Canary Wharf, just outside Canary Wharf Station, through the little colourful tunnel, and you can come and see us after the game, before the game sometimes. That sort of stuff. So, yeah, thank you very much to them. We just come back from the London Stadium. Unfortunately, we received during Lopetegui's first game was a 2-1 loss to Aston. I was all right with it. I'm going to be all right. I was all right with it.
That, I don't know why, but that hurt. It hurt me. It cut me deep because I wanted it. I wanted the win so bad. I wanted to start on such a positive foot, and the way it went, and how we lost, and who scored the winner, that cut me deep. And I'm still not over the game. I wish I could just be like, yeah. And the problem is the next game, I know we're going to jump ahead, is Man City at home. So it's like, how long we're going to have to wait to get that lovely home victory, and with our new players, our new manager.
I mean, I'll point it to you quickly. Were you shocked by the starting 11? No.
It's pretty much what he asked for in the preview.
Asked for it is what
you'll prefer. No, you know, is your preferred 11.
Yes, yeah,
that's what you preferred to see.
Because
you wanted that.
Yeah,
you wanted to see
close to it,
and we lost, Scott. Thanks to you. Love to take you watch your preview and went, okay, Scott.
No, but it was the right thing to do. You couldn't throw.
It wasn't, because we lost, you fucking idiot.
Well, let's be honest, we didn't lose until we brought on the new signing. So look, it's one of the things, you couldn't start with all the new signings. You know, you look when you look back at the starting 11. You know, you had Bone and Paquetá, who have just only returned to training 2 weeks ago after international duty. They've had not a lot of game time. You couldn't thrust so many new players into a team. It would have been 10 times worse.
I do agree to a certain extent. I mean, I would have liked to see perhaps one of the attackers and maybe shove Bowen up front where he played a lot last season. Maybe play Somerville from the start. That's what I'd have liked to have seen. Yeah. Because I didn't think, or maybe Fulbrook come straight in, you know what I mean? But, you know, obviously we don't see them in training. We don't see what they see behind the scenes. So there's obviously some bedding in. But look, apart from the same frustrations from the Moyes era, and it was a lot of Moyes players that caused them frustrations for me, I was okay with it. I was okay because I expected it. Villa are a tough side. Villa are a good side. They're a tidy side. Emery's a good manager. But I also see that what a manager could do in a short space of time. So Lopetegui, although he did start slow today, it's not going to be a lot of patience, if you know what I mean. Like, in terms, they're not going to give him like 10, 12 games.
Well, this is the thing I said on my video the other day about Glasner. Roy Hodgson, that was under him playing similar style of football that Moyes plays. Glasner come in and immediately got him playing and winning. So when you take that consideration.
But the only difference I would say to that is the quality of the squad that he had. You know, like as much as we play Palace next week, so we'll talk about Palace a bit later. But as long as people don't think much of Palace, but they have got a good side, Palace. Yeah, you know what I mean. They've got a solid side. They've got a well-built side. Yeah, I mean with cover in all positions. Moyes left that team very short. Yeah. Very, very short.
Preferred to work with a small squad.
Preferred to work with a small squad. Lopetegui obviously don't like to prefer to because he's bought signings in left, right, and centre. When you've got so many at the same time into a team that wasn't performing at the best, it's gonna take time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think for me, the only reason why I wasn't surprised with the lineup today, I mean, look, with that being said, there's probably one position that you could argue could have started, and that would be Wan-Bissaka, because at least he's had pre-season with Man United, he's featured, so there shouldn't be any sort of difficulties with match fitness and that sort of stuff.
He got injured though.
Did he?
He did get injured, yeah.
In training, so.
No, for the Man United a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right. But he was fit to play today, and I think like that's probably the one new signing I think you could make an argument and say that he could have potentially played. But I think
Sufal was one of the poorer players.
yeah, he was. There was a lot of activity coming down his right-hand side today. He didn't have the best of games. I think, look, the thing is, we are going to have to be patient because the players are learning a new style, a new philosophy, and there are a lot of people to bed in as well. And I think it's going to take time. It's going to be reminiscent of maybe Bournemouth last season, where it took their manager quite a while to get them going and settling into their philosophy.
With that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
And on the flip side as well with today, if we look at it on the balance of play, for me, the game was probably should have been a draw, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Villa did have chances. They didn't have additional chances that they didn't put away. If you look at the game on the balance of play statistically, we probably had shaded the possession. It was an even game. Exactly. Going from like 20, 30% possession.
51.
Yeah, exactly. So shading the possession.
17 shots.
Yeah. And we looked comfortable. I mean, both teams in some respects probably lacked a little bit of fitness, but I think Villa looked sharp. For the first 15 minutes, they were on it. To me, both teams were trying to implement a similar tactic, which was trying to bypass the midfield and beat the press. Villa were just doing it with pace and going directly wide. We were trying to do it with Paqueta in that slightly deep role with balls over the top, or Kilman doing balls over the top just to beat that press. And it just, the system was, I didn't know what was going on in midfield. It almost felt like a 4-1-1-1 being, what's his name, Rodriguez holding, Paqueta just doing what he wanted, and then Souček as a 10. And then you had the guys in front of him. I just didn't really know what was going on, and there was so much space on the wide flanks. Do you know what I mean?
I have to say, speaking of Kilman, I thought he was excellent.
I thought he had a great game.
I thought both centre halves had a good game.
He was someone, he got a bit of criticism in pre-season.
Yeah.
Pre-season. Someone asked us in Friday Night Pint, and it was such a tough question, like which pick the players that you think are most likely to flop.
Yeah.
And we said Kilman and Fulkrug. Not saying they will flop, but if we had to pick, it would be them. But I'm looking at it.
He was solid.
He was,
That was a great debut by him. Ariola was in no man's land for that first goal.
I haven't seen it back yet.
Not the first goal. The chance after they went 1-0, when he come running out, and it was Kilman who got back. But he put himself everywhere.
Yeah.
There was some really key tackles he put in. He looked like he played for West Ham before, and I think that was the difference between the two sides. When you look at Villa, you had Onana coming in, taking up that Douglas Luiz role, but he slotted straight into a side that I think you said it when we were standing outside. It was two teams that were playing last season's football. Yeah. We looked like we were still playing Moyes ball, and they just have carried on from where they left off. Yeah. And I think that is something where we'll slowly. There were small little changes you could see, but not enough.
But I think he has alluded to that in pre-season. Like, if you look at a couple of his interviews that he's come out with after pre-season, it's like there's a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work. Like that, some of them players have been there for. I mean, look at Antonio. Sufal's been there for pretty much all of David Moyes' tenure. Souček's been there for all of that. But a lot of them players have been there for a lot of David Moyes' tenure.
They're just not good enough anymore.
Some of them are not good enough, but it's going to take a little bit of coaching out. You know what I mean? Like some of this stuff is going to take a little bit of coaching out, and that's what he said. Like defensively, I thought in like last week, you can see that there's new passages of play that they're trying to open up. You know what I mean? Like the goal that we scored last week against in the Betway Cup with the Paquetá goal.
Yep.
That was a nice move.
Yeah.
You look at the goals that we conceded. There was so much gap between. The shutting down wasn't there, and that's what he's been alluding to. There's still work to do there. I mean, like it's not quite there yet.
And apart from Kilman, that back line we had today was all part of the back line that conceded the most goals, apart from the relegated side. So obviously Stebo come in, Wan-Bissaka comes in. All of a sudden we've got, apart from Emerson, who I thought was also good today, a completely different back line, which is something.
It is. And Sufal, he's a good servant. He is aging a little for the position that he plays, but he didn't get a lot of support from the wingers. Kudus and Bowen didn't give him a lot of support. down that side. And I thought for Villa, I thought Matty Cash had a blind first.
He did.
He was solid.
Yeah,
He got well, but it's a bit harsh that penalty. A bit harsh. You take the ball and then they give it for the follow through. If that's what I've been told.
I don't think there should ever be a penalty given for a follow through.
You can't. You win the ball.
It depends if the follow through's reckless though and could injure a player.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like if the follow through is high. Say your lead leg gets the ball, but your rear leg is fucking high at knee level.
Well, what you doing a fucking kung fu kick? Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
If you're wrapping both legs around the player trying to break his leg,
yeah, I understand. But if you win the ball, I can't see that trailing leg's coming.
Let's be honest.
You know what I mean? Like,
what
you can't stop it.
From Matty Cash, what was more of a follow through? That on the penalty, or when he took Kudus out but won the ball first time and knocked it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So if you're giving a penalty for that, you're giving a foul for the other one. I'd hate to be a defender playing modern day football.
Yeah,
because it's everything's stacked against you.
Yeah.
You can win the ball, but because you're training legs a little bit higher, you take the player out. What's the foul?
Yeah. Speaking of Kudus, I think we've got a bit of a situation here, haven't we?
We're coming to this guy in a minute because he had a take during the game that blew my fucking mind.
Really?
My jaw was on the floor.
We got a situation because at the moment he's starting out on the left. I think if he plays on the left, he is less effective. He will contribute to the game maybe by setting up assists. If you saw today, a lot of his play was more about trying to provide for others, where when he's on the right, he's looking to cut in and go for goal or do his like little mazy runs. And I think when he is out on the left, although it's better balanced with the team because we've got right footers and left footers in their right place, you do take away something from Kudus' game. And I'm just wondering what the answer is going to be going forward.
I'm going to tell you what the answer is. One of them's got to be dropped.
Yeah.
No,
because Kudus today was electric. He was electric. He was coming in. He was
not in the first half.
He was electric. Scott.
Still in the first half.
He was electric today.
I don't know.
He was doing things. And Bowen was off it.
Yeah,
but Bowen should not have been playing today.
No, and we said this during the game.
Yeah.
You've got players there. Them two players can switch positions.
Yeah.
There doesn't have to be a fix. When you look at that whole front line starting today, there doesn't have to be a fix forward.
Agreed.
And if we're going to have Kudus playing out on the left, the last thing we want is Antonio playing out on the left, which is what he did for most of the first half.
You've
got to, if you're putting a player with what Kudus has got, his skill set, and you're not putting him on that right hand side so he can cut in and have a shot like what we saw last season. You're wanting to deliver the ball.
Yeah.
You need your striker in the box. With Antonio today,
I would have been tempted today from him to have like the front three as Bowen up top.
Yeah.
Somerville and Kudus maybe swaps over, right? So Kudus goes on the right, Somerville goes on the left. Somerville's a natural left winger.
Yeah.
And just have him interchanging.
Well, that's it. That's what they were doing a lot last season.
Yeah, they did last season.
Antonio, with all due respect, I like Antonio. I like him as a good character, but fuck me, some of his football leaves a lot to be desired. He does really good things. I mean, really good things. Like when he uses his strength, when he uses his body, and when he's getting, in amongst the players, he's really good. And then he plays that ball, and you think, my God, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like that ball we played to Bowen at one point. Yeah. Bowen was through. He only had to tap that ball. I mean, that is a professional footballer should know roughly the weight. It wasn't like he was under pressure. He had all the time in the world.
It was an awful pass.
And it was just an awful. I mean, that is unforgivable for me from a professional footballer. When you're 2-on-1, you should be putting the ball.
I don't want to see him being a regular star in 2024.
I thought, to be honest with you, and I think that from last year and what I see today, Danny Ings is a better option. Because
no.
He is. I'm telling you now. Danny Ings is a better option. Danny Ings is a better option because he holds the ball up and he's got more about his play.
Not as a lone striker.
Yeah.
You saw Ings today.
He's a lone striker. He sounds a lone striker. But he'd be better off coming off the left. He'd be better off coming through the middle. I'm telling you now, he is better than that.
I think my problem is if you have a load of new signings come in, you've got the likes of Antonio, Soufal, Souček, their positions are at risk. That's not the performance of players that are fighting to keep their position when you've
I think there's a few of them know their game. I think there's a few of them know their
that's
game.
what it is. They're
I think
checked out.
Suchek is really fighting for his place. I think he wants to stay at West Ham.
Yeah, he does.
Sufal, I can see going.
I think, do you know what?
Sufal more because he's been badly treated.
He has. He's been hard done by.
Yeah,
Like, he's
very
on 35 grand a week,
Yeah.
which, listen, we'd all be killed to earn. But in comparison to the rest of the squad and what Sufal's contributed to the squad, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then Wan-Bissaka comes in immediately on over 100 grand a week. Like, so I understand it. But before I forget this, I want to get on to Scott's.
He ain't gonna let this
Kudos,
go.
I'm not, because I said to you,
Let's
you
go.
better say that on camera.
Yeah.
He said to me, he turned around and goes to me that Kudos gets overrated by our fans and he rarely stood out last season. He
didn't say
have
he
any-
rarely stood
You
out.
said he had any standout games last season.
Yeah. And I turned around and said he doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck enough.
Come on.
That's
No,
wild.
it doesn't
That is
take-
wild.
That's
That is
a
wild.
wild
That is
take.
wild.
That is very hard.
It's not.
When you're playing in a David Moyes
said-
side,
He doesn't
He's not
take the
that
game.
good.
I didn't say he's not
You
that
said
good.
you're not, he's
I
not
did
as
not.
good as our fans say he is.
Exactly. That is what I said. He's not the £100 million player that everyone keeps saying that he is.
He's not the finished article.
He's got the
for certain.
potential
Yeah.
to be £100 million player. He's not there yet.
Yeah.
He needs to take. He can be selfish, which all right. You want a bit as an attacking player, but he's got the ability to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and
But
he
he-
doesn't do it enough.
I've seen multiple games where it's him trying. And today, even that first half that you said he wasn't good in, it was him trying to make things happen, trying to take players on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Turning the ball. Like, even though, okay, maybe the final ball wasn't great,
Yeah.
he was still trying to make
didn't-
things happen.
I think today what it was, the change of position didn't suit him. Playing out on the left didn't suit him. Second
Yeah.
half, he was a lot better.
But last season, Scott, for you to say that, right? We see it. So many games. How many games did come out last season?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like, we lost, but kudos.
but
Like,
I
kudos.
think that is the issue, especially with.
Hot take, Scott.
I think this is the issue, especially with the forwards that we're bringing in, looking to bring in. There's a decision there now, because Bowen last year the decision was made for him. When Kuda's come in, Kuda struggled to get into the side. As soon as he was ready to get into the side, Antonio got injured, and we had to play Bowen up front. So the decision was taken out of his hands completely. So there was no decision about whether he needed to go to the left and all of that sort of thing. But Moyes had the basic. He had what he had, and that was it. You know what I mean? But there is a decision there now.
Of course there is.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd be honest. At the current time, I'd prefer Kudus on the right.
See that, but the thing is, if you're looking at getting,
But Simon's effective.
but if you're looking at getting Fulkrug in as a main
Can't
striker,
drop
right? No, but this is the thing: if you're getting him as the main striker, right, and I think you said it, Locatelli likes his players to play in and around the 18-yard box, right? So if we're looking at that, Kudus on the left works. You can't have Kudus on the left if you're playing Antonio up front.
Yeah.
Because Antonio doesn't. He's not going to.
He comes over to the left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the thing where if you're going to play Antonio and Antonio has to start and you've got to have that fluidity between Kudus, Bowen and Antonio.
Agreed.
That if Antonio does drift out into the left, someone's
slips
got to come into the left.
That Antonio drifting to the left mystery has been solved now, because in the past it was, well, is Moyes telling him to do that? Is that Moyes thing that he's going, I want you to drift out to the left? Clearly,
No, he's a winger.
Really?
That one
But he
where
was a right
Ariola,
winger. That's the weird thing. He's a right winger.
when Ariola had the ball, pinged it out, you had Kudus, and Antonio basically got in Kudus' way.
I love him to bits, Antonio, but no, just no. Like, he cannot be starting Premier League games of football for West Ham United 2024.
The reason why he started today,
I get it, yeah,
he's a bit sharper, isn't he? He's a bit sharper out of the two in terms of full crew and
So charge. Oh, you want to charge?
Yeah, come on,
Sorry.
let him speak, man.
Go on.
Make it so bait.
Yeah, he's basically out of the two. He's a bit sharper at the moment.
Yeah.
Pre-season where he's impacted games a little bit. So I can see, and obviously the tactic today, as I said, I feel there was a game plan to try and beat Villa's press. So therefore, you needed a bit of pace and a bit of muscle up top in order to do that if they were going to play those long diagonal balls, which seemed to be the play today. I think going forward, Antonio will become the impact player. He'll be coming on for the last 20, 15 minutes. I think that'll be the style of play. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he was as bad as everyone's saying today, in my opinion. I think there are things he didn't do great. There are 3 things he done terrible today. But I think the centre backs, Konza, they knew he was there. He felt him out. His hold up play was good, but it wasn't his best game. But I wouldn't say he was our worst player today. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, going forward, like as you said, you can't really look at him as being the vocal point, which I don't think he will. To be fair,
I think Rodriguez struggled.
Do you think?
I think he struggled with the pace of the game.
I don't think he did.
I think he did.
Listen, let me just land on this, right? The problem today, in my opinion, with the team was the midfield setup. And the midfield being, if we're talking specifically, the balance or imbalance between Rodriguez, Paqueta and Souček.
It's Souček.
No, but this is
he
the
doesn't
thing.
give any links there.
No, but this is the thing. Today was almost a mark of intent. Like, it was, for me, it was eye-opening, the fact that it was an eye-opener from last week, Celta Vigo, because Souček got 90 minutes, yeah? That was the first thing. Today, he also played the full game, but he played in a very advanced role. His role today was almost going back to the lockdown era, where when he came in, he didn't need to touch the ball. All he was doing was, as well as running box to box, he was just kind of drifting in like a Lampard and impacting the game more offensively and during set pieces. So he didn't need to touch the play in the build-up play. So it was kind of an eye-opener when he played today, because for me, it was a toss-up between him and Ward-Prowse who was going to start. So I thought that was interesting, but I just felt that balance of the 3, which it was kind of a 3. It just wasn't there, and Villa won that with Onana, McGinn and Tielemans. They basically won that battle, and there was just so much space down the side.
The thing that I can see is once Alvarez is back, is our midfield playing a lot like Villa's midfield.
Yes,
having I think we're more now suited once Alvarez is back to giving just Paquetá that free role, because you've got Alvarez, as we were saying like during the game, he's going to win the ball. He ain't going to pick out 30, 40 yard pass. He's going to win the ball. Rodriguez will pick out, as you saw today, a 30, 40 yard pass. But then on the other offhand, you're then freeing up Paquetá to be the player that we know he can be.
Yeah.
You look at it, I think a lot of what we've got this season, we need to give him the ball.
Yeah.
Get him on the ball and take away that defensive responsibility. And I think having Alvarez and Rodriguez there takes away that, he can play that sort of 8 role where he can do the box-to-box stuff, but he's the playmaker. We've got to give him the ball, because we'll get the best out of Kudus, Somerville, Bowen, them type of players, because they'll make them runs.
Yeah.
Give him the ball to do it, and he'll do it. We can't, as much as I do like Souček for what he offers, he doesn't offer that.
Yeah.
He doesn't pick a pass.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if we're going to play him in that more advanced role, drifting into the box late, again, you've got to have the players out wide who are going to put the ball in the box.
And I think to solve the Kudus situation, I think he needs to be the 10, because then he can go left, he can go right. Then it also frees up the left-hand side for someone like Somerville to come in. I think just having naturally in the middle, you're going to get him doing more runs and dribbling at people. Yeah. And I think he'll be a lot more impactful there, playing in that sort of
I think the positive to take away is that was nowhere near our strongest team, our strongest 11 out there today. Like you said, Alvarez is injured. Tadibo obviously didn't start. Wan-Bissaka didn't start. Somerville, I think, will be full crew. Didn't start. What I'm most perplexed about is the signing of Gilbert. I know he's one for the future, right? But to pay 25 million for a player and him not even make you a bench, it raises some eyebrows to me. What did we see him? What did he sign him?
Do you know what I think he's for, me? A replacement for Kudus.
Yeah,
further down the line.
No, but listen, Scott. If he is a replacement for Kudus, if he is good enough to replace Kudus,
it's not so much good enough. The potential's there to replace Kudus.
Yeah, but 25 million, Scott. That's a lot of money.
But you have to take a lot of things into account at paying that sort of money.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've spent some fucking money on the wall. When you think about what some of the players, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Like people like Vlasic,
30
million.
Yeah, exactly.
Felipe Anderson, 40 million. Haller, 45 million.
Scamacca,
50 million.
But to be fair with Scamacca and Hilaire, different managers, it may have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's that,
I think Scamacca would have worked under Lopetegui.
I think Scamacca would have definitely worked under Lopetegui.
What makes the money side of it, like you say, a bit of an eye opener is that we never ever got any return on any players, and I think that's always the thing
we
that's
made
been a bit
massive
dodgy.
losses.
Yeah, big losses.
Cornet was a weird one. Like he's literally like
We paid like 18,
20 million for him, and he's not.
The thing is, right, we often said last season with players like Cornet and Ings, and that we always used to moan about why they're not getting a chance. The bottom line is they were obviously looked at and thought they're not good enough. Not good enough, and Moyes just used to
Yeah, but they brought him in, right?
he brought him in, but it's saw in training, it ain't working.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but that's an indictment then.
But also-
Yeah, completely.
But also, it was the fact that Moyes brings players in and doesn't trust the players to do the job that he's brought them in for.
yeah.
So then you're then questioning, okay, did Moyes bring them in?
Yeah.
Were they brought in by someone else? I'll be honest, I don't see Danny Ings as a starting signing.
Yeah.
So, you
Moyes
know,
has been a long time with Moyes.
so that's it. So you've been here a long time riding, and again, Cornet, I don't see as a starting
I
signing.
think Danny Ings might have a future there.
He did look sharp when he come on.
Sharp, mate. He's been the sharpest in pre-season.
And also, when you look at you've got the big man, little man combination. If you need to go two up top,
I'm sorry, if you're Danny Ings, you need to bang goals. The geezer scored 3 goals in 18 months.
playing as a lone striker,
Playing as
and
a
he
lone
ain't a
striker.
lone striker.
Well, let's-
Let's be honest. Apart from the miss that I don't even know we had that shot. The only other chance realistically we had in the second half that of any merit was a Danny Ings header as soon as he come on the pitch.
How many teams, though, Scott, today played with 2 strikers?
But they
So
don't.
then that is on him.
No,
If he can't adapt to the modern game, then he can only play.
Ain't this the same argument we used to have about Hilaire? He was in exactly the opposite box to this. About he has to adapt. He has to adapt. And he's going, yeah, but that ain't his game.
No, but what I'm saying is...
but what's different? Well, no, what's
Because
different?
Hilaire
Because
is
Hilaire
different.
is someone
No,
that
but
you
you're
liked, and
saying-
Danny Ings is someone that you don't like.
because
It's the same argument.
That's a front three.
No, I'm sorry, but
man. No,
I'm sorry, but it's the same argument.
But I'm sure.
Back me up on this
No,
one.
let me
yeah?
explain
He
how
said
it's
exactly
different.
the opposite thing with Hilaire. No, he don't have to adapt. We should
do
be
you know what?
adapting
No,
to
what
him.
I'm saying
So why
is-
does he have to adapt, but he don't have to adapt?
Ings, I tell you why Ings has to, because if Ings, right, what I'm saying is, he doesn't have to adapt to us. But I'm saying, if he was playing Premier League, how many teams played 2 up top today? What I'm saying is, if he wants to be effective today as a player, not necessarily for us, he has to adapt to being
Okay,
in
so-
a
So
one up
He's
top.
played at one up top. He
Hilaire,
played
I
one up-
wasn't saying
he
he
played
should
one up
play in a
top. He played
4-4-2.
one up top for
Played
Villa.
3.
He
So
played
I'm-
one up top for Southampton,
Yeah.
and he banged goals for both of
Yeah,
them.
because
So
they
then-
set up
so-
around the striker.
Okay, so then it's not playing as a lone striker, it's the issue then.
The
So
thing
why
is,
would you
yeah,
it's-
saying,
it's
why
the
would
way
you
the
saying
team-
it's the playing as
But
a
it's-
lone
but it's the
striker?
way
Is
it's-
that?
I mean, look,
Why did you say
because,
that?
the way we play a lone striker.
But you didn't
is
say
like-
it's the way we played. You
But
said
it
because
doesn't,
we
it
play a
doesn't
lone
work as a
striker.
lone striker. He had people around him.
But
We
you
don't
just
know-
said
going
he works
forward-
as a lone striker in Villa.
Going
But he
forward-
said that.
Going
Do you
forward-
agree with that?
What did I say?
no,
You
but
said he
Dan,
works as a
listen,
lone striker
going
in Villa.
forward,
did.
the reality
But he
is
said
going
he did.
forward, Danny Ings is not the answer, is it? In terms of
No.
for us going forward, his age. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone came in with a £10 million
He's not-
pound
no, he's
bid,
not- he's not
if someone
gonna
came
be-
in with a £10 million
Yeah, no,
pound bid,
I
Nicky, he's
understand.
gone.
He'd
He's
snatch
gone.
their hand off.
Do you know what I mean? He's gone. So I think like
I think he might have
Danny
a
Ings,
future.
he could be a squad player, but that's only based if no one
You've
comes in.
been loving him since he played in that 10 role and that one
Yeah.
good game one
But-
side.
but-
He should
but-
call.
But let's be honest, when you're looking at saying where you're saying about adapting,
Yeah.
right? He played in the 10 role, and he had better games in the 10 role than he did in the striker role.
Yeah, and what
So
happened?
that's-
Every time the geezer
And a decent
had a
game.
decent game, he never got a chance the next game. He's
All
never had a
yeah.
chance to sort of like.
Danny Ings don't feature. He doesn't feature in this.
No, he doesn't feature.
In terms of starting 11, he's nowhere near.
He could be.
an
He could.
option.
He could.
No,
He could.
can't.
He
In
definitely
place of
could.
who though, Nicky?
I think if we can't,
Injuries and
Just give
stuff.
up on
yeah,
him.
but I think if we
No.
can't
No, I won't.
offload him, right?
Fucking hell, you turned on
No, I
some
won't. I
players.
won't do that.
Right? Scamacca and you fucking turned on Ings.
No, but
Danny Ings, you won't give up on. Why? What's the difference?
we
Because
can't.
he smiles. Because he smiles, is that it? And then did he smile enough? That was your issue.
No,
Why won't you give up on Ings, but you gave up on him?
The thing is, when you look at it,
There's
right,
no basis.
when you see today, you saw today that it was we were
Got him.
losing, and this was the difference today. when we went 2-1 down, he brought on Ings. Right, he went 2 up top.
Yeah.
He tried to do a positive change to try to affect the game, and
3 at the back, change the system as well.
Yeah,
3
I'm
at the back.
glad at it
Yeah.
because he was what was there.
if we can't get rid of Ings, and let's be honest, if Ings wasn't on the money that he's on,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be in a rush to get him out the door. It's because he's on the wages that he's on. He could still have an impact within the side
Yeah.
in that sort of thing. You're chasing, and I'm
Yeah.
the same with Souček.
Yeah.
If you're chasing a goal
Yeah.
and you're getting a lot of set pieces, or the other team are
But
sort
they
of
ain't,
pinning
you're
their
right,
back-
they ain't starters.
No, they're not starters.
In normal circumstances, if everyone's
Yeah.
fit, they're not starters.
And
But
Lopetegui, I
I
mean,
still
look,
think he's going to have an impact.
he likes to make substitutions, you know,
Yeah.
to try and impact the game.
He made
which
what,
is
3
good.
in 1 go?
Yeah, which is good, you know.
Made 5 subs today.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, in a way, right, at the time, when you look at the players that he took off and the players that he brought on, it's sort of, you can say it was the right decision. Like
I'm sorry.
Bowen-
I don't think taking both Paquetá and Bowen off at the same time.
So
was
this,
smart.
no, but this is what I was getting at. Bowen weren't in the game at all.
No.
So that was
Paquetá
right
was pulling
decision.
strings.
But both of
Paquetá
them,
was, but Paquetá's not played.
yeah, both of them
No,
a
came
lot of
back
football.
late from
Yeah,
international.
right.
So-
yeah,
so
yeah.
it-
That may be.
In that
Yeah,
sense, it made, and he was on a booking.
Yeah,
So
that's
that,
right.
that made sense. But when you now look back at it, maybe keeping Paquetá on, because of what he can do on the ball, it makes them think. I think
Yeah.
once Paquetá come off, Villa pushed a lot further forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was thinking long term, bigger picture, because it's a long season. This is game
Exactly.
1,
Yeah.
and he's
He didn't want to.
But he's one of them players, Scott. He's one of them players that he could have an ineffective game and he can pick up the ball, like in Prague,
And
like
do
in
something.
Prague,
Yeah.
do something, slide that ball through. And I think that's what Villa saw. As soon as he come off, they thought, well,
We ain't got that
push
number.
it forward. Yeah, it was different what we had. Drew Krug's more of a hold-up player. Somerville's pace, and they just thought, without him pulling the strings there, I think it was a mistake bringing both off at the same time.
Yeah.
But I do understand if there's
Yeah.
obviously fitness issues.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't want to get the geezer 3 months out.
No,
just
exactly.
to beat Villa.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
Or
then
you end up
maybe,
dangling a leg and getting
Yeah.
a second
Yeah.
yellow, you know what I mean?
and it was, you know, I don't know. It's the one Prowse change. I thought was the right change, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just strange because
I
like
don't see
said,
where he fits in here.
I think he does because of when you're looking at more, we're going to have more of the ball. He does. He fits in that mindset more than Souček does.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah, he can pass.
should he have started today?
I think he could have.
Yeah, there was
he
an
could
argument, and that's why when I said Mark, I think I would have started him over Souček personally, just because we want to retain the ball a bit more.
Yeah, and then it probably allows Rodriguez to focus more on the defensive side of defensive midfield, and then Ward Prowse can focus on the, progressing the ball, passing, carrying.
Right. Final thoughts on the game. Sum it up.
Yeah, look, it's one of them ones. Disappointing, but it's progression. More possession. We've got to see some good performances from new signings. Still a lot of work to do.
I was all right with it. Personally, I thought we was good enough for a draw.
Yeah,
I didn't think. Don't give me one. We give away a lot of fucking stupid chances today, which we didn't really touch on. Like the one where he hit the post. I don't know how he missed that, to be honest with you. When the keeper come out, he was a bit off today. Areola, I thought. I don't think
he didn't have the
game.
best game.
The set piece defending for that first goal.
Set piece defending was shocking.
And Antonio was well, from what I've been told, Antonio just let Onana run off him, and you can't be doing that. You know.
I can see where the progress is going to happen, and I can see like when there's different players. Once you get them integrated, I'm quite positive with it. I'm all right with it.
Yeah,
I'm all right with it.
The disappointing thing for me is that the kickoff was Moyes' ball, defending set pieces was Moyes' ball. Can we stop having 11 men behind the ball? Because it's absolutely pointless when you've got players like Somerville or Danny Ings on the pitch, having them in the 18-yard box because they're not going to out-jump
They've got to
someone
learn,
who's 6
man.
foot 2.
They've got to get out of that habit.
But that, I get what you're saying. You've got to get out of that habit, but that's a manager. A manager sits there and says, when we're
But
defending
that's
a
what he's
set
been
piece,
saying, Scott.
you
That's what he's been saying. There's a lot of work to do still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work.
But
So
that's
he's working on it.
basics. As a football, that's basics. There's certain things that are basic.
You can say all you want about basics, but when a footballer's been playing that for 4 years, it's hard to get out.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard to get out of that.
In the tactic, you can say, listen, We can see the corner. You fucking stand on the edge.
That's what I'm saying.
If the ball goes, he's
Yeah,
fucking.
But when the game's on, you're sitting there screaming at the player, what the fuck are you doing? Get on the halfway
Yeah,
line.
and Somerville wasn't in the team last
Yeah.
season, so he can't get that habit.
I think for me, the biggest positive from today was the Kilman's performance.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing.
Yeah, when we see him and Tadibo together, I feel like Mavropanos, he had some really good moments. He had some Mavropanos moments.
Exactly. Yeah.
And where you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm still very happy with him as a squad centre back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Tadibo is going to come in and be that guy.
100%.
I mean, still, can you see a couple of other players coming in?
Aston.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few out.
Yeah.
I could see Zuma be gone. I see Cornet as well. I said we find anyone that wants him.
I would like to get rid of
Where?
Ings. I know you say things, but I want to get another striker.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
If he can get Duran in somehow,
Yeah.
he did all this like he was
Yeah, he's
staying.
staying, yeah.
No,
He wasn't. It was like he was tapping his chest.
No, he was going
Goodbye.
like that. He was going,
Yeah.
is it I'm staying here? 'Cause
I'm
he's
coming
staying
here.
at
This is my own now.
I ain't coming back.
that was written in the stars. Everything that's gone on for this happened.
Why is West Ham like that?
I know,
Why
I
are we
know,
like?
I know.
Why is that such a West Ham thing?
No, it's not. It's
But
not.
it's
I
always
think
that.
it is, but
We see
happens to all of them.
Oh, mate.
So what? I think
He's
with
got West Ham.
what you're saying, players going out. I think possibly Aguerd, Zuma, because I like Zuma. He's a great player, but his knees are gone.
Yeah.
I like to see Chalabar coming in. To be honest, if we get a chance, I think he's Zuma but younger.
Mate, Trevor Chalobah,
Fact,
what
means-
they've done to him.
It's disgusting. Yeah, I think it'd be a good signing.
That club is a joke.
It's a mess. Yeah.
That club is a joke.
Which is, and that's
He
the
came
thing.
through their academy,
Yeah.
everything, and they're just sticking him out.
Look
to
at what
reserves
they've
for
done
no
to
reason.
Gallagher.
Gallagher's now had to come back.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So yeah, Chalabar, like, I think he'd fit in well with us.
Yeah.
And
I
maybe
can't
it's
see us.
if we get
If we
rid
can
of
get him on
Aguerd
loan.
and Zuma, yeah, I can't see why not.
Yeah.
And then possibly another striker. Duran, to be honest, looked good today.
Duran.
He looked, yeah.
Duran.
But
He's
Like a brother player, no.
but he looked good and he linked up to play well and he's got a bit of pace about him as
Yeah.
well. So
That's
I'd
the
go
kind
for
of
that one.
that's the kind of striker we need. We've got like a
Yes.
full crew who's a
Yeah.
box in the box.
Yeah.
We put it in.
And wide
we
play,
need
yeah.
that guy.
Do you know what?
In behind.
Yes.
In behind.
I'll be honest with you with him, yeah. I haven't really seen him play,
No.
Durant, right? Because he only joined there last year.
He didn't get much game.
He didn't get much game time, yeah. He's very impressive.
But
Very
in today's performance,
impressive.
he really was. You
Go
can
and
see
slap down the foot.
he's got the attributes of the player that we need to play in our front line.
Mm.
That's the thing, and it's good.
And I think he starts.
I
Yeah,
agree.
he starts.
On today's
Yeah,
ball,
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
look, it's just unfortunate. Look, we're going to Palace. Fingers crossed, Palace have lost Gay and Anderson by the time we play them.
Yeah.
But
Can they
it's-
lose them both?
yeah, they're both.
Why this
Apparently,
week?
Anderson's is possibly
Fulham.
going to Fulham and
Newcastle.
Newcastle have offered what they've
They go
said.
to Fulham.
That's not really a step forward, is it? From that,
I thought, man,
I don't think
Palace have been looking decent.
they played some good football last year. Good football last
they're
year.
just
Why
their
the fuck would you go to
club.
Fulham?
All their players have stick with moves away. It's mad.
It's the problem is, Nick, it's money. Money
I
talks
guess so,
in today's game.
But
and
what money have Fulham have got that fucking Palace ain't?
Probably quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah,
Palace.
probably.
We could really do
Palace,
with them.
yeah, Palace away. It's going to be a tricky game.
Yeah.
Because it has been like historically, like for the last
Do you know what?
5 years or
Do
so.
you know the game we need is the Bournemouth Cup game?
Yes,
Yes.
to bring
I
it
think,
up.
I think that'll be
Yeah.
that game you will see the players.
Kickstart the season.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what I
We
mean?
need to batter them. We need to go and
I
fucking
don't think we're going to
convince
do that.
them. But do you think, right, Scott, a fucking like a last minute little 2-1 win over Bournemouth is going to kickstart our season?
No, but it gives. I'm more looking at it. You're gonna see the players that need the game time, need to adapt. Bringing in, you'll see them in that because.
So you think we're
Bournemouth do
going
the
to
same.
see the same team we saw today against Palace?
There may be the odd one change, but it's very much different.
I don't want to see this.
Probably in the midfield. You'll see a change there.
Just get Antonio, stick Bowen up top. Get
You may see that. You may see Bowen up.
I don't want to do
Would
that
you
every
rather?
game.
Would you?
Yeah.
So